Welcome to Deep Night Revelation. We will be picking up where we left off last week. Excuse me. Where we left off, these guys had just jumped on their next uh, journey. They're trying to cross the Great Rift, and they have a very tenuous, very thin thread that they're trying to maintain crossing. And the next jump for the system that they are coming into is known as DSR-4, Deep Space Refueling number 4, and it is a rogue gas giant that's just sitting out in the black. It's not orbiting anything, but it has its own, being a gas giant, it of course has its own little moon system, and so that's where we'll be picking up. Before we get started, we'd like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships, partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. And tonight, we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard makes wonderful beard products, such as oils, balms, butters, beard wash, beard conditioner. They've got spray-on colognes. They've got all-natural deodorants. There is a women's line of different products, such as body frosting and hair tonic oil and shave serums, and they've got a facial scrub that my wife is really partial to. And both those sites, all of their products feature a different fantasy type character. Tonight I am wearing Dr. Wolf Beard Balm, or I'm sorry, Dr. Wolf Beard Butter, and it is a light blueberry and pipe tobacco scent, and it's really nice because it makes your beard all nice and soft and reduces itching. If you are a first-time purchaser, they do have a buy one get one free option. If you go to fablebeardco.com and create an account, you can you use the code FIRST in all capital letters, and you can put 2 beard oils into your cart, and you'll get that second beard oil for free. They do have some kind of 12 days of Christmas thing going on right now, where every day from now until I believe it's Christmas Day, that there will be a different set of items, and they've got like today they have a monthly subscription. I can't imagine going through an entire package of this stuff that they sent for their monthly subscription, but they had it at a deep discount. So, I mean, a jar of their beard butter, for example, probably takes me a good 8 or 9 months to go through. So, I mean, it's a good value for the buck. We also have a merch store via Zazzle, and we've got hoodies and T-shirts and buttons. And there's a beer stein and a whiskey rocks glass that seem to be pretty popular items. All sorts of stuff on that site. And 100% of the proceeds from that site goes directly back into our channel. It helps us cover things like the Roll20 Pro subscription or our Incarnate subscription and all the little things that we do in the background that makes the game possible. If you want to help us make ends meet, go to our store, and there will be a link down below, and pick yourself up a t-shirt. We appreciate everything you do for us. All right, so like I was telling these guys, Sarda is running a little bit late. He's going to be joining us here shortly. Not sure what his ETA is, but we can go ahead.
He's here.
Oh, there he
He
is.
just showed up.
Let's see.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Said your name 3 times and you appeared.
I guess that's the trick.
That is the trick. So,
Really happy to see that you started, Sarah.
I told him you were late.
Yeah, and we didn't want you to be pregnant. So, glad to see you start. Yeah.
So, you guys have, let's see. I need to look at this real quick. So, following the Proton Storm, which was a rip-roaring ride, so you guys spend a week in Jump. Most of that week is, of course, spent with maintenance crews and engineering folk going all over that ship repairing a number of items. Most of the damage was relatively minor. There were a couple of bigger things that are still in the process of being repaired by the time you come out of jump. But the next target in your in your line of the tenuous bridge crossing the Great Rift is a rogue gas giant. Not a whole lot here when you come out of jump. There is this single large gas giant that is it is about 100 kilometers in diameter. Let's see. And it has a couple of moons. This large body here, immediately your initial scans come back, of course, and it shows that this body is about 800 kilometers in diameter and has a trace atmosphere of methane and monoxide. And then there is a third body here that is in a really wonky orbit. And so it basically goes out in an elliptical, and it when it gets back to the gas giant, it's relatively very close. And this puts it, of course, under huge gravitic stresses, and that causes high amounts of volcanism on it. And so right now, this moon is, let's see, what is its orbit? It says it is currently 7 years past its closest approach and 3 years past its most distant point. And so it is on its way back, and so the gravitational forces on the moon are starting to increase, of course, as it gets closer and closer. It won't be, at its closest point for another 4 years. But so now, if there was any kind of landing, now would be the time. But the science division, of course, is really looking at this moon because it is showing they're getting a real-time view of what this kind of screwed up orbit can do to a planet that actually has an active core. It's not a planet; it's a moon. But anyways, it's showing what can really happen with gravitational forces to a moon that has an active core. Aside from that, some of the science division does bring up the point that because of the gravitational stresses on this moon, it could mean that there is the more difficult minerals and metals and whatnot have been brought to the surface, more likely. But they wouldn't know unless you send a crew or send a mission to land and check it out. That, of course, is entirely up to you. You could just go ahead and refuel here and move on. That's the captain is asking for recommendations if you think it is worth landing to find exotic materials or mining in any way.
Man, I think if everything just kind of looks like it's not gonna just blast us with fucking crazy radiation and everything, I think it'd be a really good time to take our time and maybe really check the ship over.
Refueling takes 2 days minimum because we've got to. It's like a whole day of just getting
just skimming
fuel, and then you've got to refine it.
Correct.
So I mean, I would think we could at least probe the thing to see if there's anything interesting in there. In the time it takes to refuel.
Yeah, I want to take a more active approach on looking at old drawing sites that could possibly be around. As we're narrowing this crossing of the gap, I've got to think that we're like in a chokehold or a choke point, and our chances increase on we crossing the path that they once took, and there might be information there. So I would like to take at least a couple days, if not longer, to really kind of see if we can find any more drawing sites.
I like that idea.
Okay, so it sounds like you are on board for checking out the moon.
Yeah, the moon, and if it is.
I mean, you can check out this other
that's
rock too.
methane and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know how good that'll be, but this little funky thing with its little moon. I mean, at least doing a flyby. And what's this other orbit here? Is that not have anything in it? Is that just
it's just an empty orbit.
Okay. Then yeah, I'd like to at least do a flyby of these other two things. And again, we know kind of the material makeup of what these join sites have been.
Well, usually it's whatever the surface crust is, because they're just using whatever high tech they're using to form it, but they're basically just melting the surface with like super advanced plasma torches.
Okay. Well, yeah, I gotta think there's more shit to find, and we're getting to a point where all these other people, there's not a lot of places to cross the rift, man.
Right. I mean, this is I suppose you could kind of describe this as a zigzagging thread that's going through an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Going from point to point as you are crossing it, and then it's just surrounded by nothingness, just black.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is there any special precautions, anything that you are taking? They can't. So the science team can tell you to give you an idea of what you want to pack. The surface gravity on this little moon appears to only be 0.013 Gs. So it's like almost none. So, for one, that's going to make for some difficult piloting for landing, and for two, you'll want to take extra caution on the surface, because one jump too much and you just literally jumped off the entire surface of the moon.
And we need to enact a tethering protocol.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean that's the best way to stop shit is,
So Pappy, being a pretty good pilot, knows that essentially he basically tells you that when you guys are discussing this, the bottom of the ship usually has like ground penetrating radar type sensors that basically inform it if the ground is solid. But on a rock that has that little bit of gravity, that response may not be as accurate as it would be on a planet with normal gravity. And so, if you land too hard, the crust could break and you could fall into a chasm underneath, or you might bounce, and then that can cause damage. And he says that the normal answer is, as far as staying down, is of course just to apply some downward thrust consistently to maintain contact, or to use ground tethering to basically lock the ship down once it's down. But it will be, let's see, landing will be a difficult 10+, rising to 12+, or even 14 plus if the landing area has not been sensor mapped.
Well, I don't necessarily know that we have to land in order to just do scans and looking for what's around, do we?
Not necessarily, no.
I mean, Starta is the sensor wizard.
That's true, and you can launch probes. So
yeah, let's probe stuff.
Okay. So as you are, as Revelation is going through its refueling process, its skimming, you guys make your way over to the moon.
Roll20 has not loaded for me.
It has not.
Yeah, I just see jump gate and loading and nothing else. And that's why I exited earlier.
Are you attempting to load it through Discord?
Yeah, I've been using it through Discord. I can go to Roll20 itself.
Yeah, just leave your Discord chat open or your voice open, and then you can open up the web page, and it may actually connect you. We had that problem. Wes had that problem here a couple weeks back.
Yeah, it was like cycling. It was like loading, and then it would go, here it is, and be like, nope, fuck you.
Yeah, it would load them in, dump them out, load them in, dump them out, and it just sat there and kept blipping like that.
But my fix was the same thing.
And
there you are.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I mean, really, the only benefit, aside from much better voice comms, but the only benefit that I see from using the in-game Roll20 app is that, or the in-Discord Roll20 app is that you only have to have one window open as opposed to 2, or in my case, 40. But yeah, at least there's another way.
Man, I love to be able to turn Glenn's mic down.
Yeah, there's that. Yes, or mute him.
Yeah, I a lot of times I'll see his mouth moving, and I'll be like, "Oh fuck, I muted that dude like a while back," and now he might be saying something pertaining to the game. But yeah, so I like the Discord just that way. I can, if you want to talk about French kissing your cat, that's fine, but I don't think I need to hear it.
Well, yeah, because with Discord you can raise or lower a person's volume.
Yeah, you can adjust individual people's volumes.
But in Roll20,
you don't have that ability.
Yeah, I don't have
it's just a flat. Yeah, and it's not very good quality, to be quite honest. It's better than it used to be. They made some improvements, but Discord is so much better. So, Pappy. Pappy places you in orbit around this world. Sarda, how do you want to launch a probe or a set of probes first, or do you want to?
Let's do an initial scan of the area.
Okay, go ahead and make a electronic sensors plus intellect or education.
And that's +2, right, from the ship?
Correct.
13.
All right. So on this small of a moon, probably takes you probably about 8 hours to orbit the planet once. It's not very big. But figure out which button I'm looking for. Here is your initial scan.
It's orange.
It is.
It's very, very low water.
Yeah.
It's not a horrible temperature range.
No.
It's that gravity that's going to make it landing fun.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and everything is. I'm assuming everything out here is fucking dark. We have to import our own lighting.
Yeah. Well, yes. So So
no stars in the sky.
right, the website that I used to generate this Donjon Tools um makes the assumption, of course, because it makes a lot of assumptions, that every planet is orbiting a star. That is not the case here. There's really, yeah, this would be a scary system if you think about it, because literally you're coming out of jump and it's just pitch black, and the only vision that you have is coming from your sensors. So,
Yeah.
your sensors say, "Hey, there's a big fucking gravity well over there." Oh, well, it's a gas giant. There's a gas giant over here that's like 3 Jupiters in size.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But if there were anybody else around, in the humanoid type frame, I think they'd have lights and we would be able to see them easier.
Yeah, no, you don't see. There are no lights. There's nothing. It's black. The only light that you are able to detect are various volcanoes that are spewing lava and fire.
Nice. That's gotta look pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially with this little gravity, that they must really spew.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I forget. Was it Enceladus? The one moon in our system that has the ice volcanoes, and it's like they finally caught one. They had always theorized that was what was going on, but then they actually, I think it was the Cassini probe, actually caught it, and they actually got to see one in real time, and it's literally blowing shit off the planet.
How is the temperature so high? Is it the core heat of the planet? I mean, I was gonna say that seems incredibly high for a system with really no sun.
Right. Well, and radiation coming off of the gas giant. One thing gas giants are good at is spewing radiation.
All right.
But yes, it does have an active core.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I want to order, send a message to Deepnight that music be played throughout the intercom system to try to put a cheerier mood on everything. This has got to be a dark, doom, gloomy system. I think maybe we ought to rotate 4 or 5 different really nice artists, to do it. Just start with like artist A, artist B, artist C, and then go back to A. We'll call it the minstrel cycle because that's what we'll do there. But I seriously, I do want to try to help the mental health of everybody and insist that if communications and all that aren't going on, that we need music playing throughout, light, peaceful, tranquil, mellow, happy music,
Go ahead and make a admin plus intellect check. Intellect or education, your choice.
The doctor?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do education if you let me for the +2, and my admin is a 1, so I'll do a 3. Got to get my trusty.
That's what I'd be rolling, but I'm dumber than you. I
got a 7.
I would say that this is a routine, so you needed a 6+. So you put through your administrative paperwork and whatnot, and yes, they are piping in music. They are keeping it, I guess, upbeat, but not, it's not metal. They don't want people starting a fight in the halls. But it's an upbeat music that is just quietly playing in the background out of everything.
Just the Peanuts Christmas music.
Peanuts Christmas music is playing constantly in the back. Oh, God, that would make me insane.
Look, yeah, that just the piano solo just over and over again.
Right.
It's not, that whole album just jazz piano.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, and then everybody will play Peanuts things in the little thing would be to get catch one of those dances that they do
Yes.
and do it in time with your friends, you know,
Right.
because they only have like 2 moves real quick and that's it. Then they go in a loop.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is, like I said, the only lights that you're picking up from the surface of this moon are from the volcanoes and lava flows. But pretty much the entire surface of this moon is volcanoes and lava.
Yeah.
Or not all lava, but there are lava flows. And you're also picking up that from the sensors, you can see past instances. So like I said, this is 7 years past its closest approach and 3 years past its most distant point. So it's about 4 years out from being at that nearest approach to the gas giant again. You can see in the past where when it kind of does that slingshot orbit around the planet or the gas giant, it's like the moon itself is almost going egg-shaped, and you can see past stress fractures in the surface of this moon.
So we want to focus on the poles because those are probably going to be the least damaged. I think they would see less activity on the poles.
I'd also think that magma might come out of the stress fractures, obliterating anything closer to the equator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think we ought to focus on the poles with our looking. I mean, we can look around the thing. That's basically saying the same thing Jack is saying.
Okay.
But with different words and a much more sexier accent.
We can launch some drones to check out.
So
Let's start heading towards one pole, and we'll send drones to check out the other pole.
Okay.
Once we get there, we'll send drones to basically circumnavigate the planet and come back to us.
So I ran across. Let me pull it up, and I forget. I think it was in our other game, or maybe it was last week. I was looking, but anyway. And it seems like this happens to me a lot. I read so many of these books that it's like every once in a while I go back through and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that was in there. But there is a probe in the robot handbook.
Nice.
And it...
Yeah, that robot handbook's great.
Yes, it is.
Love it.
Yeah, probe drone. 209.
I haven't downloaded the updated version of the core rulebook. I haven't seen how extensive the changes are.
Not a whole lot of change. Mostly they put in they incorporated the errata and everything that was off of the FAQ for it. So I've got it. So
I heard the merchant book didn't drastically alter the trade rules. I was kind of hoping they would fix them a bit, but
the merchant edition is really just a starter set. It's just a starter box set, just like the what was the other one? The Traders Edition or Scouts Edition
right.
Was the other one. Scouts Edition.
I just feel like the trade rules are really kind of broken.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like especially, I feel like the if you're doing speculation, like if you get just one good roll. Your crew of your ship is like set for like
because if you're buying something at 55% of base price of normal price,
right?
You're for sure going to turn a huge profit. You may not make it at it may not be the next stop,
right?
But you're guaranteed to make a huge
and so the profits on it can be pretty massive when you're depending on where you're going. And speculative cargo. It is assumed that you know at least somewhat of where you're going. You're not going to just buy something and then just randomly jump around space wasting gas, Yeah.
And that's where you can, as a GM, screw them, I guess, with, docking fees and where are you going to unload that? And that needs to be inspected. And
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
customs and everything else, of course.
yeah.
But so the probe drone is on page 211, and this is just a standard IISS probe drone.
Sure.
I would think that you guys would have actually the advanced probe drone, TL12 version.
What speed do those things fly at?
That is a very good question.
And how much babysitting do they need?
This locomotion is grav and thruster. Traits armor +7, flyer high, heightened senses, IR UV vision, and thruster point. So its thruster is only 0.1 G, so they're not very fast. Which is why when you send them, if you send one down to the ground, you're going to have to go back and pick it up.
But that's acceleration. That's
True.
not there.
So,
What page was it again? It was page 6.
211.
Oh, 211. Well, that's real.
Grav-powered planetary survey drone dropped from orbit in a disposable shell or deployed while in atmosphere. Incapable of returning to orbit and must be recovered from ground or atmosphere and has no independent capability other than a simple autopilot and navigator that can fly it. Thruster package allows the probe drone to operate in zero gravity environments, although with limited acceleration and velocity capability. The thrusters enable the probe drone to survey orbiting satellites, derelicts, and other space debris.
But the advanced has grav.
The advanced has grav.
High speed flight at 300 kilometers per hour.
Has PRIS sensors, thin film solar panels, rated for 25 years of harsh vacuum. And so, I mean, you could drop one of these into orbit, and it'll be good for about 25 years.
The big thing is their flight speed is 300 kilometers per hour, and so that's in orbit. So within a planet's atmosphere.
Right.
The 300 kilometers per hour.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, that's what.
It's a nice drone.
That is what it's looking like.
It's got Recon 3. That's sick.
Yep, Recon 3, Navigation 2, Flyer Grav 2. So, I mean, it can make minor adjustments and whatnot. As with the standard probe drone, it can get to where it's going and it can make attitude adjustments to stay on position. But if you want to do anything more than that, but it'll just sit there and use its heightened senses and just you can just basically jack into it via your sensor console and grab whatever you want off of it.
I think that the thing I was kind of curious about was how, like, if I were to send it around the Earth, it would take 5.5 days to circumnavigate the Earth inside the atmosphere, right?
Right.
And so that's kind of what I was kind of curious, like what kind of speed we could have for this thing to.
Well, it's just the diameter of this thing's only 100 kilometers, man. I got to think you can circle that relatively quick.
That's true.
It's a lot smaller than Earth.
Yeah,
it's 100 kilometer diameter.
This moon says.
That's what he said.
Well, this says 3,200 kilometers, but I don't think that's right.
Well, yeah, no,
okay. The single larger body, 800 kilometers in diameter.
Okay, yeah, that's really small.
Yeah, it's quite tiny. I think I was thinking of the other moon when I put this on the bottom. Yeah, it should be 800 kilometers.
Yeah. I gotta think 8 hours ought to be good enough to do a couple loops around in every direction you want.
800 kilometer diameter.
Yes.
All right.
It's just under 3 hours to do a loop then, right? If you're doing 300 and it's 800, then, I mean, that's just under 3 hours. Because you'll do 900 kilometers in 3 hours at 300. kilometers an hour.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's go to set down on the pole, which are if it looks stable, and we'll send some drones out.
Okay.
But it sounds like we'll just be checking around the pole with the drones because we don't want to.
So you're launching 2 probes?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make a remote ops plus dex check.
Sure. Bum, bum, bum. 11.
Perfect. So you get these. Are you sending them down to the ground, or are you leaving them in orbit over the poles?
Well, I think we're interested in minerals, right? So I don't know if that's something that these probes can help with. But I mean,
well, let's see. Like so, it has atmospheric sensor, auditory sensor, environment processor, navigation, olfactory, PRIS, recon, satellite uplink, solar power unit. Essentially, I mean, with its wireless data link, it's essentially giving you a closer look from your ship sensors. That wireless data link can just basically,
sure.
It's acting like binoculars for you.
Well, I'm wondering if that olfactory sensor thing means that we can, have expose it to a specific chemical compound and have it detect if that.
I think so.
I know there was one like that in the Central Supply catalog that was something you could.
Yeah, there was a sniffer.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's exactly the way that works. But if that was the case, we could maybe have it sniff for iron, or if there's a specific mineral that we're interested in pulling out of the ground here. I don't know what they were hoping to mine. I can't remember what they were.
They didn't have anything in particular, just that it would be an option, but I think this will tell me what that means. Olfactory sensor is on page 39. So it says, provides a robot with the ability to emulate a generalized sense of smell using a suite of chemical detectors. Basic sensor suite provides human-level acuity. The improved sensor, I would have to look at it again, provides human-level acuity. Improved sensor emulates the acuity of more olfactory attuned race such as Vargur and grants the heightened senses trait. The advanced sensor provides broad-range trace chemical detection capability beyond any one biological being's capability. So yeah, this will work as a sniffer.
Okay, cool. Well,
and this does say that it is advanced. So yes.
So yeah, so let's have it sense whatever minerals, if there's any particular minerals we know we're short of, let's have it sense for those, I guess. Otherwise, iron or the more common. I'm not sure what our ship might specifically be looking for.
Sure, go ahead and make
anything particularly associated with the old drawing settlements that we've stumbled across. I mean, do they use a particular heavy metal or?
So, like I said, everything that all of the obelisks and any actual settlements that you found, basically they melt away surface material of the planet itself, and while it is in that melted state, they have some kind of ability to form it into whatever shape they want,
like concrete or something. But it's the same,
right? But
you wanted me to roll something here?
Yeah, go ahead and make another electronic sensors plus intellect or education, and you can make that with a total of +4 or +5.
19.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
So yes, let's see here. So it finds a fairly recent lava flow, one dating from the current orbit. so it's maybe 6 or 7 years old, that can be mined for rare materials, and mechanically it comes out to a rate of 1D of rare materials per 12-hour mining session.
All right. Yeah, it sounds like we got folks that are.
It will require landing near active fissures and volcanoes.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. I mean, we should give it a whack. Probably rare. It's not like we have a store we can buy shit from, and if we need some of these materials, I think we ought to get them. But if we're well stocked up, I don't think we should take the chance.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that you're well stocked. You're probably down to about 70%. So.
Okay, well, then I think we ought to try it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Besides these types of videos, these are what helps really secure good pensions when we get back.
Right? All right, so Pappy brings you guys in for a landing. And kind of sets you down. So excited, my wife got us an appointment for getting our eyes checked and new glasses. I'll actually be able to see again. All right, so
can you I'm thinking, no, it's Pappy that has the belter shit.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and you probably don't want Pappy outside of the ship because he is there maintaining that downward thrust to make sure that, as soon as you touch down, you can feel minor quakes.
Yeah.
And so any one of those at 0.013 G, any one of those could cause the ship to bounce and possibly bounce off the planet. So you probably want your pilot in the pilot seat.
All right then.
I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you could tether it if you want to spend time doing that.
Nope.
Sounds like a good idea.
What, tethering? I think there's active fissures and shit in the area, and the tethering might be bad if we have to go.
Well, I would assume that there's probably a detachment system, and it probably detaches from the landing gear of the ship, and not that way you're not trailing fishing line behind you as you take off.
I just think that if we're going to do some mining and stuff, people with belting skills would be the one to do the mining.
Probably true. Do you have you have Pappy's character sheet, right?
I have an old, outdated one, but
I don't think he's updated his mining skills, though.
No, so
that's not likely.
Pappy Johnson here. 2. Profession Belter 2.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, if you want to, whoever wants to make a mechanic plus, I I guess this would be mechanic plus intellect check. Can work to tether the scout ship down.
Does anybody have mechanic?
I do. I would only have a one in this, but I'm not very smart.
I'm studying to get 0 skill in it.
I have rank 1. I just don't get a bonus from intellect. So,
Well, take your time.
Yeah, you can take your time.
All
I'll
right,
give you a +2.
+2. Let's do it. 13. Oh, I rolled good.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but you can't count on that shit.
No,
Yeah.
I rolled a 10. I'm saying I had to roll pretty good to get that.
Oh, I hear you. I mean, you can't count on that shit. When you need it to roll real good, is it function?
Yeah.
So let's see. Taking your time is what? Double the amount of time?
I guess 10 times as long.
Yeah.
10 times?
For some things, that's not a big deal, like landing, but
Right.
it's like, okay, normally landing 6 seconds, and so you took a minute to land. Who cares? So that,
Right.
that's
right.
But then there's other things where 10 times is like hacking a locked door. You're going, all right, this takes hours normally, so now we're talking days if I take 10 times as long. And that's probably realistic, but it's not like you're gonna probably do it too often.
Yeah. Here, going faster or slower? Oh, okay. So I would say so they changed this.
Oh. Well, I'm glad we're listening into it.
Yeah, so moving down to increase the time taken gives you DM +2 on your check. So essentially what this is saying is that you can move up or down 1 level on the time frames table.
Got it. Yep.
So excuse me. So time frames table, I would say that tethering this down, you're talking 1d times 10 minutes. If you move it up to 1d hour, so this it takes you like
Damn.
6 hours to tether this thing down, but you get it
makes
down.
sense. It makes sense. I'm bouncing all over the place.
Right? Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
We'll just speed it up and put some Benny Hill music under it. It'll look great.
Perhaps using the nail gun wasn't the proper tool for this.
Well, I'm just imagining like cockpit photos of me just bouncing all around the surface of the planet, trying to secure it somehow.
We definitely need to record that. It would be for good Deepnight, the most funniest videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you could
also good for training purposes.
Yeah, if you could rack yourself while you do this, that would really improve the content.
Let me try to show off a little. Look at that!
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Do a little backflip.
Making it look easy. So yeah, Sarda gets the ship kind of locked down, and you are able to you can add Happy to your surface crew.
Yeah, he's the only underage guy we got. Everybody else is over 18.
That's right. So, so then, how are you suiting up to go out here? Are you going standard
hazardous? I think so.
We're talking, hazard for sure. Because we're talking volcanic rift. I mean, this could be really bad.
So let's see. There is just this one, the hostile environment.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys gear up. I would think, and this is probably in the ship's locker, which is now going to make me take a look again. What kind of mining equipment? There's got to be something, right?
You got one of those giant lasers.
Right. Uh, well, huh. Yeah, I would say that you probably have a laser drill, which is on 127 of the.
We need some of these mining drones.
You could use mining drones as well. I would think that you would probably have a couple of those. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you would have access to a mining, a laser drill, on page 127 of the central supply catalog. Basically, this is just a big laser that sets up on a tripod and will cut through pretty much anything given enough time. And then, of course, you would probably have access to mining drones, which are on page
209.
209 of the Robot Handbook. Pappy can make a.
I can
Pappy-
help with any I can help with any drone checks, but Pappy will have to just
Right, so
actually explain how to do the mining part.
right, so Pappy can make a profession belter plus education or intellect.
It's Jack's turn to roll stuff.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, so
you're not doing very much in the way of what I have skills in.
no, you're gonna roll for Pappy. So you get
Here, let me.
you get +3
Oh, he did.
on
So he did put his character sheet in. You might be able, if you go to your journal, you might be able to click on Pappy and see what his skills are. Maybe.
yeah.
All I see is me under characters. I don't see anybody else's.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, the GM can change that. He
Yeah,
just needs to change who can edit and see.
Yeah. Here we go. Skills. So what did he put in? He didn't. Huh. Oh, yes, he did. So yeah, he's got Belter 2 and intellect or education. So education is 7, which is 0, but his intellect is 11, so he's got a +1 to it. So it's 2d plus 3 total.
I wish I should know how to type.
Perfect. So
Oh, getting it done.
So Pappy finds that this outcropping of rock is a part of this upheaval, and he kind of goes over it with a essentially goes over it with a bioscanner, and comes back with this is a good place to get some minerals, and he sets up the laser drill. Sarda, you can make a recon or not recon. A remote ops plus electronics remote ops plus intellect or education check for the mining drone.
11.
Perfect.
So
And I would think that these mining drones. These are just showing asteroid mining drones, but I would say that they're probably similar in that they have the same locomotion as the advanced probe drone. So this one's just showing that it's got a thruster. I think it's probably thruster and grav. But yeah, it gets to work and it has mining equipment large, and so it is pulling up. It starts pulling up stuff. What is Mel and Bocephus doing while they are getting this undergoing?
It's a wonderful question, isn't it?
I don't know.
It
something.
is.
I guess Bocephus is just going to keep an eye looking around, making sure, nothing creeps up on us. If a fissure or something starts going off in the area or something like that,
Sure.
I'd like to be able to point to it,
So, Pappy, kind of looking this thing over as he's running this laser drill. He lets you guys know that he thinks, according to the sensor scans and everything that he knows about mining, he thinks that there's probably, it had said that there was 1D of materials per 12 hours. He believes that there's probably about a total in here of about 4D worth of rare materials. If you wanted to stick it out and get all of it.
If we're at 70% and it's rare materials, I mean, I kind of think we ought to get it.
If we're here and we've got the drill in place, let's drill.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Drill, motherfucker.
Unless we start feeling the planet's collapsing or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, learning my way around the game. Is there any way I can watch this mining operation? And since I'm studying, what am I? I'm studying mechanic, right? That's what I'm studying.
Yeah.
Probably
would
not.
say, make an investigate plus intellect check. Do you have investigate?
I do.
Yeah, make an investigate plus intellect.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! No, I don't. What? How do I not have that? Guess not.
Well, or you can make a recon plus intellect check. How's that?
Investigation's one of those weird skills that you don't. It's really actually kind of hard to pick up at character creation.
So, for anybody that ever played 3rd or 3.5 edition D&D, this is the same thing that we used to have. So, what's the difference between recon and investigate? The same thing as from 3.5 edition D&D. What is the difference between search and spot?
Right.
No.
So an 8.
Which is why Pathfinder confined them to perception.
Right. So, yeah, you paid attention while Sarda was anchoring down the ship and kind of assist.
You had plenty of time.
Yeah, you had plenty of time, and so you paid attention to what he was doing, and you helped him out, like basically handing Dad tools when you're 10.
Right. You hold that flashlight straight. So
Yes, hold that flashlight straight.
It's just a lot of me climbing down the tether to get back to their planet.
Right. I would say that on your next check, I'll give you a +1 to that roll. So it'll be a.
I failed my last one. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, +1 can't hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you're kind of paying attention, and Pappy's not really doing too much mechanically. He's if he wasn't wearing a spacesuit, you can imagine he'd probably stick his finger in the dirt and lick it, thinking that that it'll tell him what kind of ores there. He's evidently been doing this a long time.
Yukon Cornelius.
Yes, like Yukon Cornelius. Yes, it's evident that Pappy this is kind of his old stomping grounds kind of thing, and he clearly knows what is going on. But the ship or the mining, So it produces 12 units of rare material. Lanthanum is pulled up. Probably more than a few diamonds. Fairly rare metals. You're not getting tin or nickel or anything like that. You're getting the difficult to find stuff. But towards the end of this, you notice that the ground tremors are starting to get stronger and more frequent. And this is, I mean, you've been at this now for off and on. You've been here for almost 2 days.
Okay.
And as Pappy is to the point now of breaking things down, and Sarda, you can make another recon plus remote ops plus intellect, or I'm sorry, remote ops plus dex check.
12.
Yeah, so you recover the mining drone. Did you also want to recover those 2 drones at the pole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pull everything back.
Yeah. So you recover all of that, get it all back. You're in the process of stowing that equipment. Pappy's starting to stow the laser drill, and over the past probably about 6 hours, the tremors are starting to get more frequent. And they seem to be getting more violent. And everybody can make a recon plus intellect check.
Seven.
Oh, no,
nice.
Okay. So you guys, as you're packing up all the gear, ending this 2-day adventure on this hot or just lava-filled moon, these tremors are getting violent enough that a couple of the restraining lines have busted free.
All right.
And
let's get moving.
Okay, so yeah, Pappy double times it and gets you guys into the ship, and I'll let Jack make the roll. I keep forgetting.
Do I need to run around and disconnect these straps?
No, because I would assume that there would be some kind of quick disconnect from inside.
That'd be nice.
You said so.
Make a. Hold on. 2D plus 3 for his piloting. Nice. Okay, so Pappy gets in and fires it up, and you guys pop the quick disconnect, and as Pappy is lifting you guys off, you can see that these earthquakes, this old fissure that was here before, seems to be widening and opening right beneath, just as Pappy starts to lift off.
Nice.
And you can and he raises the gear just in time, or else the entire ship would have fallen into this chasm, and brings you guys back up into orbit around this little moon.
Well, they can't claim we didn't have an opportunity to mine for longer.
Right? Yeah. No, that was pretty much the. Yeah, I rolled 4 times. I was like, and only one of them came up as a 1. I was like, ooh, that's gonna be a last minute thing. So, is there anything else in this system that you want to check out? It's been 2 days, and Revelation should be fueled up and ready to go at this point.
Man, I think we need to rest. In celebration of a successful mining operation, I think I'm going to add a 4th and 5th band to the menstrual cycle to really spice it up, and so people don't get burn out on the music, you know?
No, I think we want out of this system as fast as possible. This has got to be the most, it's a completely dark system. This has got to be frightening. This is absolutely terrifying.
Yes. Okay.
I don't remember where our next...
So you guys are once again in Jump. You can study for the week. Is there anything other than studying that anybody wants to do? I'm just kind of assuming that studying is what you guys want to do, unless there's something in particular. Like I know Bocephus sometimes wants to do doctor-y type stuff.
I'm doing ship's mental health.
Okay.
I'm gonna week. I want to talk to a lot of people. I want to telepathically probe a lot of them, and people that seem like they're depressed or whatever. I want to psionically change those feelings to things that are more hopeful and positive.
Okay.
And happy. That's what I want to do. So I won't be studying. I want to work.
Okay.
I'm studying leadership, but I'm basically doing that by going over the administrative. Anybody who's a supervisor, I'm going through their through their performance. I'm just basically looking at our personnel, and as I work on my leadership stuff.
Okay. Brain shut off there. But a moment. So yeah, you can add a week to your leadership stuff. What about Mel?
Just discovered I need to start learning how to investigate, but I'm going to spend more time working on this mechanic thing since we need one.
Okay, so yeah, you can. So does one more week bring you to a total of 8?
One more brings me to 6.
Okay, so you got another 2 weeks to go. Make sure you note down that you get a +1 on that check, though.
I did. I put it in the notes section.
Excellent. Bocephus, you can make a science psychology plus intellect or education.
9.
Okay.
It's German for no.
So your idea of pumping music through has kind of it's worked a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna really backfire for some people.
Yeah. Well, but so the idea has worked a little bit. You're meeting with, of course, with a crew of 500. I don't know that an entire week would be enough to meet with everybody.
Yeah, I get that, but
you're getting a good sampling, and it does seem like spirits are raised a bit, and a suggestion comes in. From a couple of the crew that they like this idea, and they, similar to you guys broadcasting the game and and your LARP events, which aren't nearly as popular.
Yeah, but our funniest videos are very popular.
The funniest videos are very popular, yes. Oddly enough, a lot of those do come from the LARP events. But
or my last securing of a spaceship.
Yes, your last securing of the spaceship. Yes. The suggestion is that instead of just piping in, essentially like elevator music, maybe what a good idea would be is to these couple of crew members want to set up like a ship's I guess radio station.
Yes, we need that.
Yeah,
and
that sounds like a tremendous idea.
In addition to just not just music, but they could also have like another band or another frequency that is a news cycle of news from around the ship or different departments, or maybe have interviews with different heads of departments or whatever.
Yes,
That sounds like a wonderful idea. I want them to go ahead. I'm gonna, if they're not already together, I want to put them together, in contact with each other, and tell them to go ahead and put together your radio station or whatever. We'll call it One Eye Radio, One Eye Willie Radio. There you go.
So,
One Eye Willie. Yeah. Yeah.
So the ideas came in from Seidel Yarrington, who likes to sing herself. I haven't decided if she's any good at it. And Jamie Hentz, who kind of has attached himself to Seidel and has kind of become her sidekick, kind of thing. Your medical opinion is that in your medical reports of Jamie Hentz, Seidel Yarrington is just the most recent person that he's attached himself to. It seems that he has a tendency to do this until he gets bored and then tends to move on to another person.
Oh, I see.
But both of them presented this idea, so they want to kind of set this up.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a wonderful idea, but let's just try to push things along a little bit. I want to before I let them get real on there and everything, I want to take this guy that kind of gets bored of people and moves along,
Right.
And I'm thinking I want to use telepathy to convey love for his person there, so that he won't get so bored. I want him to be a little infatuated. Love. I want to telepathically with telepathy.
Okay.
Go ahead and bend him so he's a little and just because he's on the radio. I just want to do like once a week. I want to go ahead and talk to him.
So you want to give him a crush?
Yes, and I want to just make sure I nurture it and feed it and keep it going.
So are you going to do the same thing to her? Or is this only going to be a one-sided crush? Are you gonna turn him into Xander
I think I
Buffy
should.
Both
should do it. I want to make them love each other and love this radio thing that they go. So it's really their passion, and that they're together and that they're happy when they're all sitting there turning dials and playing music and entertaining others is just their love. If I have to send a suggestion.
Yeah,
go
ahead and make if you're doing telepathy, just make a telepathy plus your psi check. It's just
I think I want to do that. Yeah, let's do the telepathy because I can get 2 plus 4. There we go. There it is. 12.
Wow, you doubled that. So that would be a critical success. This kind of takes root. I mean, with a critical success, right?
Yeah.
The traveler succeeds in an impressive and elegant fashion.
Are they interested in having a baby together?
Possibly now. Yeah.
Will, he's talking shit. He's muted.
we discussed the idea that our population has dropped. Our population has dropped. We may not
answered in a role-playing game.
I
never thought that I would hear.
I'm going to have lotteries for this. I wasn't as worried about whether or not the station managers were falling in love with each other. I was thinking more about the radio station in terms of practicality. In terms of we probably want to have an official liaison from command staff involved so that, they can relay important information that needs to also be distributed via radio.
We can give the captain a moment, like every day, to
every day's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I got captainy things to do.
Well,
day 4 of a jump, pretty much the same shit.
Yes.
If he were to make a small recording that we could play, like a little 30-second blip every day or every couple days, talking about stuff from the ship, that would be pretty informative, and all that. Or we give it to the XO. I don't care. I mean,
well, there is the. Let's see.
Make Sarda do it.
I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could give it to Sarda. So a mission commander. Would be one of those command and administration type people. I mean, of course, there's captain, executive officer, a command officer, senior command clerk, and a command clerk. Evidently, it takes 2 people to fill out the paperwork.
Is there already official communication people? Is there anybody officially dubbed?
Is
relations, media relations, or diplomat?
Yeah. Another thing that we could do is get our Gandalf guy to tell interesting stories from his travels.
That's right.
I would say probably senior command, probably senior command clerk and command clerk would probably be the 2 people that are kind of in charge of communications and things like that.
Right. Well, we've also got our bard.
That's true. You do have the bard.
Yeah.
We can have him tell stories from his pastoral planet.
Well, yeah, him, and then our space wizard. He's got to have some fucked up stories to tell.
That's true.
I think that's what we need to do. We need a panel show with the bard and the space wizard and some of the bugs, and we can have just a panel show where they just bring up a different topic and have them all talk about it.
Oh hell yeah!
I
have
know
them
that I'd be a viewer.
Hell yeah, and then maybe get a host, to kind of guide them all together.
Yeah, it's a random topic that's submitted by the viewers.
Yeah, Bo Cephas could host it.
That's fantastic. This is great. Yeah, so we're gonna start figuring out some programming.
So
then I might make them fall in love while we stay there.
So
and then
also. Oh, go ahead.
If anybody on the ship has an idea for a show,
mm-hmm.
Put the word out.
The senior command clerk, I mean, that position kind of encompasses a bunch of stuff. Not just the senior command clerk would be more, like I said, it encompasses a whole bunch of stuff, and communications are only one part of it. The command clerk that is directly beneath them, of course, probably deals with communications on a day-to-day basis. But the senior command clerk kind of deals with a whole bunch of stuff. And their name is Burgess Kinney. And Mel, you can make a streetwise plus intellect or education.
Burgess Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly who I thought of. Come on, Rocky.
It's this little guy with a knit cap and a cauliflower ear.
Yes.
Oddly enough, this is 2 of your games back to back where we're really focusing on entertainment.
Yes, right. I know. Yes, I know. That's the holiday season. Everything's going.
I feel that.
So
we're out in the middle of darkness.
Yes, out in the middle of nowhere. You guys are focusing on creating a radio station. So Burgess Kenny is known to Mel. Burgess Kenny's name came up in the past as a small scale scrounger and was a minor figure as being a black marketeer. Now, of course, as senior command clerk, he has access to a lot of this shit.
That's all above the board.
Right. And he can make shit. He can shuffle shit around and make it disappear. And so far, he's only kind of done it at a petty level.
I think you have your new partner.
But he has a lot of potential to be much more.
So that is the guy that we need to set up to make it look like he killed our mutineers. So
or to replace your other black marketeer.
Well, yeah, see that, but I'm thinking if we plant evidence that it looked like he killed the others, and then not turn it in, just like, hey man, we think you killed this because look at all this evidence. But if you do our bidding, we'll never turn it in, and you'll be able to do what you're doing. But if you do the slightest fuck up, we can just hand over all this evidence that you're a low life murdering scum, and you'll be fucked. And it gives us a fucking reason to kill those fucking mutineers. There's
technically only one mutineer. The Mirakaru was the black marketeer that basically just was supplying her with some stuff. The other mutineers, I mean, who knows? They're several parsecs back now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, we've got them like what in a low berth.
You've got her in a low berth. He's. You guys said that you were going to dump him off at the next suitable location that he could live on.
Yeah. Yeah. We could have left him at that last place.
Oof. I mean, that's
on the moon.
Yeah.
That's not.
There you go.
That's not exactly what you guys had in mind, but
I mean, might as well just space him at that point,
right?
Oh, I hear you. But no, he's in the brig then until we find a suitable place to drop him off.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, as far as I know, you stuck Annalise into a low berth.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, man, I mean, if take your black markets to the next thing, you don't have to try to blackmail anybody. I'm just a sadistic bastard. That's just it.
All right. Let's we need somebody. We need somebody in place, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to take it over.
I don't really want to take it over.
I'll be happy to take over the radio station.
No, he's talking about the black market.
Oh yeah, that I'm not touching that. I'm pretending I don't know it exists.
I've got a slogan for you though. The only free market is the black market.
Okay.
As long as nobody's coming after me for my pirated movies.
As long as you don't fucking sell it to goddamn mutineers.
That's right.
Right. So I mean, if you want to approach Commander Kenny, I mean, you can. How do you want to broach the subject with him? Now, the thing about Burgess Kenny is that he is technically about the same rank as you guys are.
Yeah, so we just tell them, look, a couple of the people are talking about creating a radio station where they can select music and give announcements and things like that. This would be an opportunity for management to also be able to weigh in on what's being reported to the crew. So I don't know if that's something that you'd want to directly get involved with, or whether you'd like to have some oversight on. But it sounds like it would be a good idea for the crew.
Okay. Go ahead and make a... Sarda, you can make a persuade plus social check.
So we're going to tie the black market guy to the radio station?
Well, he's kind of fitting two bills at once. So
Yeah.
The radio station's sort of within his job title.
right.
The black market is sort of within his
Is
previous
also
job
yes,
experience.
yes. So
So we need to make sure that he hands Mel over a copy of his code words that he broadcasts on his shit.
Oh, that's look, the way they want to run the new numbers racket is up to them.
So he likes that idea. He let's be honest. I mean, aside from requisition requests and maintaining inventory, there's not. It's not like being on a normal Navy ship. There's not a whole lot for him to do. It's kind of a vestige holdover position. So, I mean, of course, some planets or stops are more busy for him than others, but for the most part, he's got some free time, so he would be more than happy to fill that role for the radio station.
Cool.
Mel, are you going to approach him about taking over the black market?
I don't think I can. I think I got to do it. Because the problem is that he's the same rank I am. I can't pull rank if he fucks up or does with something I don't like.
That's true.
It means I don't have control. We don't have control over the situation.
I mean, he's one fucked up vaccine away from getting sick and dying. I mean, oh yeah. I clean up messes like that, Mel. It's okay. If he steps out of line, I'm saying we can off him and lose him in the paper trail somewhere. He could get lost on an asteroid.
All sorts of accidents are prone to happen.
Fuck yeah!
It's a
man.
dangerous mission.
Yeah.
So we'll let Mel ponder that situation because that is a good point. He's the same rank, so it's not like you can bully him.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? Do you guys want it to be out of our control, other than killing him?
I'm not acknowledging it exists.
I mean, I just want to monitor it. That's all.
Then, if hypothetically we can control the black market as opposed to somebody who is an equal rank to us, which do you think is the worst situation?
I think if we control it, then we know what the fuck is going on, and we don't have to trust a guy to overlook problems that the last guy did. I mean, that was the problem, is that he knew something fucked up was going on and it was detrimental to the ship, and he didn't say nothing. I mean, really, that if he would have said something, he could have sold him the stuff and then snitched him out and he would have been okay.
Well, he didn't even get a chance to snitch him out. You guys kind of caught him red-handed in the act.
We'll see. And then that's proof that he wasn't that good to begin with.
True. That's a good point.
Yeah. If we caught him, he sucks.
So we'll let Mel ponder that for a bit. But you spend the week kind of doing what you were doing, and you come out of jump again. This time in the DSS-3 system, Deep Space System 3. This system
we're going to take the original 3 artists off the play rotation now, so that way people don't get burned off.
Well, I mean, if the radio station has access to Sarda's library of
my media library,
yeah, they can play music from just about anything. In fact, at this point,
all right, well, good.
For the most part, there's probably enough in that media library that it's unlikely you'll hear the same song twice for a couple months.
That ends up being the hard part, is that no one knows what's good. There's just too much.
Yeah, there's just so much. Yeah.
Well, still be favorites and shit, you know, and
Yeah,
then
but
people will
it's also
request them.
just crazy shit too, because I'm
Yeah.
just literally showing up in plants and going, "Give me everything you've got."
Yeah. So, this system that you come into is a brown dwarf. So it's a substellar object, but it does have a small moon system. Well, they're saying it's a moon system. It's actually one moon. And there is a small gas giant here, as well as two belts. And that's all that is here. Bridge is kind of happy because there's a gas giant here. Aside from the two belts, it doesn't seem that there's too much going on here. But there is, of course, this one moon. Sensor readings are coming back.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
So the moon, initial scans of the moon come back that it is just a barren rock.
Yeah, let's just see if there's any drawing,
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's worth scanning for that reason alone. These systems don't seem, they're not good systems to, settle, but at the same time, you'd think there'd be ships coming through occasionally.
So you guys set out with Pappy and make your way over. You've got basically 2 days while they're refueling at the gas giant. Sarda, you can make an electronic sensors plus intellect or education check.
Bring a couple planetologists with us or something.
Hey, did Mel get another week of study?
I think that's what got us here.
Yeah, that's what got you here.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get you skills, Mel.
13.
We've only jumped once.
Yeah.
So, let me tell you.
You're right.
I'll tell you a little bit more about this world. It's obviously there's no starport. It is this moon is roughly the size of Earth. It's about 12,800 kilometers in diameter.
That's pretty good.
It does have an an exotic atmosphere, unbreathable by humans at least.
Helium.
Not otherwise hazardous, but you would need air supply to breathe. Only about 6 to 15% hydrographics. No population, no government, and no law level or tech. And that
makes sense.
The sensors are coming back that essentially it's not even really good for mining. There is some mix of iron and nickel, possibly very low concentrations of platinum, but aside from that, it's just a rock ball of the most average moon that you could possibly imagine.
Sure. So we just scan it, see if there's anything that sticks out, and if not, head back.
Yeah, no, that is about all that you pick up.
Okay.
So essentially, you guys, this trip probably took you maybe, I don't know, 12 hours round trip, and you've got the next, day or two to kind of mull about before Revelation jumps again.
Is there anything interesting with the asteroid belts or no?
Not really. They have, let's see, X all zeros, X all zeros. There is one other planetoid, and it's
X5A.
Yeah, X5A. So we're looking at
right, this big ball.
Yep. about 800 or 8,000 kilometers in diameter. More exotic atmosphere. And zeros across the board. Absolute desert world, 0 to 5% hydrographics, no pop, no government, no law.
So
Sounds-
what I'm gonna do, let's release you want to release a satellite here explaining the path we took to get here?
You could do that, yeah. Drop another, like a sensor buoy.
Yeah, something that's cheap. That's that'll float. That'll
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So Revelation has done this twice before, way back.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could drop another one here. That would be fine.
Yeah, let's drop one here just because it's an interesting spot, and a ship coming one way may not realize how to get through.
Okay.
So
did you want to drop it in orbit around this world, or did you want to drop it around the gas giant?
The gas giant.
Yeah, whichever seems to be more stable orbit, I would think the gas giant seems more likely.
Yeah, the gas giant's probably going to be more likely. It'll have a much more stable orbit. And these things will.
If we can get into a geosynchronous orbit where it's in front of the gas giant, it definitely would be obvious.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think around the gas giant. Anybody coming through here is going to the gas giant to refuel. They might not go to any other area, right? But they're going to go get the fuel.
The remote ops tech on the bridge, he got a 9. He's able to place it in orbit around the gas giant. If you would like, you can try to do better. But
I think that's good.
Yeah, he places it in orbit. They have rolled astrogation. They can take their time, raising that to a 7. And you make another jump, so you guys can add another week to study time if you'd like.
I'm still focusing hard on crew stuff.
Crew stuff.
Well, yeah, I want to be real proactive in talking to the crew if they've got concerns or a particular song or show they like on our entertainment venues. What do they like about their existence, what they don't, are they interested in having a child with anybody? Well, no, I mean, we got to get them fucking soon.
Yeah, because that was something they signed documents saying that they realized that they would not have children for the length of this trip, right? That was actually something that
but
we had to deal with that one couple. And so, sounding it out, whether people would be interested at this point, because it would maybe be benefit. Although frankly, it's not going to really help our mission, right? If somebody had a kid right now, I don't know how many years we are. It seems like we're in 6 or 7 years into this 10-year trip, right?
I mean, with my cloning chamber and all that,
if you could advance, if you could speed it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much that's going to help them intellectually if they haven't developed at a normal intellectual rate.
If we give them a year or two to get the baby to like 2 years old and then speed it up, to put them in like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And at that time we could try to develop a routine to really get those. I mean, there's got to be a way. There are all these clones and shit.
General Development Company back in the Trojan Reach has been doing it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Yeah.
So there is, in order to get to the next big, the big major location, which would be DSS-4, Deep Space System 4, there are 2 jumps in between. Both are, more comet refueling. You guys can add, let's see, you can add 3 weeks of study time And Bocephus, you can add 2 weeks of study time, and you can make a science psychology plus education check.
I'm not going to study on anything. I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to work the psychological stuff on the crew.
Okay.
I mean, we got 500 something people. I'll get my break when it goes, but I got a 9 for that first one. Do you want the other weeks too that I'm
Yeah,
working
go ahead
on
and
the
make
crew?
2 more rolls.
And
Nice.
a 14 and
Okay.
a 12.
Okay.
So
yeah, your psychology sessions with the crew are proving to be fruitful. The morale seems to be. I don't necessarily know that morale is up. Maybe a little bit, especially amongst the science division. They are excited about reaching DSS-4 because it is a binary system that, from long-range telemetry, is 2 M9 main sequence stars. And there's a planetary system, and they believe long-range scans, they believe there's gas giants there. So they're kind of excited about seeing that. The crew is fairly positive about it, and an M9 binary 2 M9 stars with a planetary system.
Go to Tatooine here.
Yeah, well, and it's potentially it's a lot. It's potentially better than DSS-3 was, because it was just a boring, mundane brown dwarf. And the system before that, DSR-4, the rogue gas giant, was really not a whole lot for them to do. So they're kind of excited about going to this next one. And so your psychological stuff is uplifting, and the psionics that you did on Seidel and Jamie, they, over the last 3 weeks, they've kind of started dating.
Awesome. Oh, who would have thought? I think that's wonderful. I want to monitor that.
Okay.
And if I need to intervene to keep them in love, then I will.
Talk about couples counseling. So
yeah.
So Mel, you can add 3 weeks. You only needed 2. So
actually, at this stage, after that last jump was 1 week. So now I just need 1. Then I'll roll, and then I'll do 2 more.
So go ahead and make a mechanic plus education with your +1. So technically, if you're trying to get mechanic 0, it would just be education, 2D plus your education +1.
Did I just roll a 0? Is that fucking possible?
No.
Yeah, because untrained you're at -3.
Yeah, so you're not. Yeah, you're not.
And so what you also did is you put in +1, and whenever you put in +1, that screws up the formula. Okay. Whenever you're putting in a positive modifier, just put in the number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try that again.
Still fucked it.
All right, that's a bad roll. Whereas before you actually rolled a 7, +1 should have been an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you on the first roll because, yeah, you're right. 7 + 1 is 8, so you can get mechanic at 0.
But yeah, that whenever you see the ++1, it doesn't. It always
it screws it up. Yeah,
it's so stupid. It would be such an easy fix,
right? Yes.
From a coding perspective, it's infuriating.
Yes.
Because all you need to do is grab the value that.
I run into several things that are infuriating. So you can add 2 weeks to something else if you want to study it.
He's investigating, right?
Yeah. So if you wanted to put the remaining 2 weeks into investigation, you could do that. Is what he's indicating.
You don't think I should bring mechanic? We have no other mechanic, right? So
no, I've got mechanic.
One. Okay.
I've got mechanic. You're probably better at it than I am because my mechanic is also 0.
You've got
I'm not very
freak.
smart.
Yeah, you've got that freaky intelligence and education.
Yeah. The big thing I do have a mechanic 2 chip that I can slot.
And if you want any augments, just let me know, buddy. I've got the tools and I've got computer files, and I can put together you a nice augmentation package. You know that you'll be loving life.
Yeah, I mean, if
So-
you wanted to go for mechanic 1, you could put the 2 weeks back into mechanic for your next.
I'll
check.
do investigation. It's probably a good idea for it to not be untrained.
Okay. Yeah, investigate can be highly useful. What about Sarda?
I'm still I think a week away.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got 6 weeks in after that. So I've got 2 more weeks and I'll be rolling on the leadership 2.
Okay.
Going from 1 to 2.
um,
I failed the last time, so
Ploosh.
Coming out of orbit, you come
that's the
into
one. The sun. One sun orbits the other. Okay.
yes, and so you come into the DSS-4 system. As expected, there are 2 M9 primary stars, and the initial sensor scans are coming back. So there is this world comes back as. Oh, I did do that. Okay. I was like, wait, what? This one is about the size of Mercury or Ganymede, about 4,800 kilometers in diameter. It has trace atmosphere, so vac suit would be required. Pressures between 0.001 to 0.09, probably depending on altitude.
This is the one that's kind of interesting to me.
You don't think Ploosh is interesting?
0 to 5% hydrographics, and the rest of it is null.
I'm guessing Ploosh is a water world.
This one is about the size of Triton, about 1,600 kilometers in diameter, surface gravity of 0.05 g. It does have a little moon that is pretty much inconsequential, less than 1,000 kilometers in diameter with negligible gravity. Aside from that, this world has pretty much nothing on it. And then there is this world, which the sensor operator has nicknamed Ploosh, because, yep, it's a water world. It has a diameter of 16,000 kilometers. That can't be right. Let's say 7A. Yeah, no, that's what it says. 1,600 kilometers in diameter. It is standard tainted, so you can breathe the air with a filter. But it does
You
have.
said it's how big?
1,600.
16?
Or I'm sorry,
So it's
16,000 kilometers. My bad.
yeah. So it's bigger than Earth.
Oh yeah, it is surface gravity of about 1.4 Gs.
Yeah. Okay.
But it is a water world, and this number can't be right. It has a fairly dense atmosphere. Hydrographics are off the charts, 96 to 100% water.
Mm.
And so far, they're detecting no population, government, etc. It's just a big ball of seawater sitting out there.
I don't think this is a viable place to ditch off our mutineers. Close.
You can swim, right?
How long can you tread water?
Well, no, I mean there is
No.
some land.
No, it's
No,
it's not going to work, man.
yeah.
But it's worth checking out. I think it's worth
gill augments. I think that'd be fine. Like
it's worth checking out. I mean, that's honestly a faster way to refuel than gas giant
So,
diving.
Not really though, because Deepnight can't
right
go
but
down.
They have quite a few smaller ships that just make a lot of trips.
Right, and it's going to take probably. Let's see, what's the estimate? If using smaller craft, getting fuel. So Deepnight Revelation requires over 27,000 tons of fuel. She can't descend, so if you use, it says that there are 8 scouts aboard, including yours, so 7 others. It says they have a little more than 70 tons of fuel capacity, per run they can bring back 560 tons of fuel at a time.
There's how many of them?
There's 8 total.
Oh, it's 560 tons of...
They're saying that it would take about 48 sorties, probably about 12 days.
Oh yeah, that's way slower.
But doing it at 12 days, of course, that is nonstop. That is hustling.
Yeah. What about this? What about this ring? Outer ring? Is that ice?
There are some icy worlds out there that are a possibility. If you wanted to go that route.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that might be faster. Otherwise, we're spending probably 2 to 3 weeks here as we refuel a little more leisurely than nonstop.
Well, and I mean, the science team is happy about that because they would like to do.
All right, let's do it.
The possibility of water life. Life begins usually in oceans.
So let's plan on spending 3 to 4 weeks here, because it takes 12 days doing it nonstop. Half that would be 24 days.
Right.
Yeah, so that's at half speed. Honestly, probably should 1/3 that is probably more reasonable. That's a shift. 1 shift per day doing, I don't know.
So this is probably not the best scan of Plush, but these areas that look like continents are actually, most of them are beneath water. These land masses are usually about 50 meters under the water. The only things that reach up above the surface are underwater mountains, and there are occasionally in the deep sea some mountaintops will actually reach up above the water and form like a mountain saddle that's anywhere from 20 to 50 meters deep. You don't want to fall off of that because the oceans here are upwards of 5 kilometers average in depth. So there's a couple of options. There are polar ice caps that you could land on and drill a hole and refuel if you wanted to do it that way, or suck water up that way. And then, of course, like I said, you could do seabed landings. Now, Pappy is quick to bring up that most military pilots, and of course the Scout Service, they don't have to do seabed landings very often, but it is a part of their training. He feels that he could do it. It is not quite as easy as it sounds, but he could probably do a seabed landing.
How hard will it be to recover a ship if they screw it up?
Well, let's see. It says, entering the water is surprisingly tricky. The craft's drive and lifters cause a great deal of disturbance. It can result in a rough entry and rapid pitching, yawning, and rolling movement, or all three, which causes structural stress and can injure passengers or damage cargo. Entering without incident requires a 10+ pilot check. with, of course, negative DMs. If, like, for instance, if they don't come to a stop and hover and then try to insert into the water gently, that's going to give them a negative. Failure results in a number of hull points damage equal to the negative effect per 100 tons or craft or part thereof. So a 120 ton craft would suffer 4 points of hull damage on an effect of -2. This might not be a lot on any given insertion, but multiple water landings is going to wreck a craft or send it to the repair cradles.
All right. Well, so what I'm thinking is let's do polar refueling, but we might want to have everybody do a practice water refuel.
Okay.
Just to make sure everybody's in shape. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Sounds good. Or at least run simulations.
Well, we're here now.
Right.
Why build a simulation?
So, yeah, why simulate when you can do the real thing, right?
Right.
So Pappy brings you guys down for down onto one of the polar ice caps. Absolutely no problem. In fact, he lands you on a large berg. Kind of does a barrel roll as he comes in because he got a 14 and he's going to show off.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. That's good for the show.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I'm not securing this one.
Well, it's 1.44 Gs, so you probably don't have to.
That's true. Oh, I'm going to be hating this planet. I am not going to enjoy being on this planet at all. I'm strength 7. That's better than I thought.
So the other thing that is brought up.
Strength 5.
Yeah, you're going to hate this planet at strength 5.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I put on like 20 pounds. What's going on?
Can't we turn the grav plates on the ship and adjust that?
Yeah, while you're in the ship, you don't have to worry about it. It's
right.
Stepping off onto the surface that is, of course, going to be fairly uncomfortable.
You need more vac suit training so that we can get you into one of the big mech style armor.
Yeah, so this thing here.
Get your vac suit up to 2 and you can get some crazy. Yeah, like that.
So the exploration suit would allow you to walk around pretty much unimpeded in 1.4 Gs.
Looks like that's what people got to wear.
I don't think I've got the rating for that, do I?
That's a very good question. I was just about to say the same thing when you brought that up. I'm like, what are the stats?
It usually doesn't have it in the description. You have to look at the stat block.
There it is. So it requires vac suit 3.
Holy cow! Yeah, that's.
I don't have that.
That's a lot.
But it does give plus 20 protection.
Yeah,
and it'll soak up. It'll deflect 250 rads.
Well, that's something to train for.
Right. Yeah, I think that if you don't have vac suit 3, you're at a minus for every number that you are missing.
It's pretty bad.
So, like, if you've only got vac suit 1, you'd be at -2 for pretty much everything while operating this thing.
So vac suit 0 would be bad.
Yeah, you'd be at -3 for almost everything. But
if you don't have the necessary skill, you're at -2 to all skill checks while wearing that suit.
Oh, well, then it's not as bad. So you'd only be at -2
for each missing level.
Oh shit! So you'd be
-4
-6.
-6 to all skill checks.
Yeah, at vac suit 0, you'd be at -6 to everything. Holy shit! Yeah, that's way more brutal than I thought.
It's brutal, and vac suit 3, that's a high requirement, right? So
yeah, I mean, this is like
those are specialists that have been training, for quite a while to be able to pilot those.
Right. So you have set down on Plush, and we will pick up with Ploosh and all of the events that happen there next week.
Yeah. All right.
Friday night at 6 o'clock.
All right, sounds good.
Sounds good.
I'm
That
tentative for next Friday.
Yeah, you may have to go to your wife's Christmas party, right?
Yes. God help me.
was fun.
All right. Well,
that could be fun. That's free food usually, right?
Yes, but it's talking to guys like who can or name like Chet and Mumsy.
Jen Mumsy.
You should work for like a foundation or something. Yeah.
No, it's the friend. It's her friend's husband.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Well, I'm sure you'll survive.
Yes.
And,
I will with enough booze and hors d'oeuvres. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, cool.
All right. Well, I will see you guys next week then.
All right. Thank you. Have
And
a
I
great
will
night.
see you tomorrow, Wes.
See you
Yep,
guys.
Sure
Thanks.
will.
All right.
Night.
Have a good one,
Night.
guys.